My family thought it'd be funny to leave me stranded in another state. That joke nearly destroyed Memi-owned family, tricked me. They drove away laughing. My phone was dead. My wallet was gone. I was utterly alone, 1,000 miles from home. The first night was terrifying, but it was just the beginning. It wasn't a prank. It was a lesson. And what I learned in that cold, strange city, it changed me forever. They thought it was a joke. They were wrong. My name is Michael. Most of my life, I was the reliable one, the quiet, steady brother and son. I worked a normal office job, and for 8 years, I was happily married to Sarah. We lived in a comfortable suburban home in Ohio, the kind with a neatly mowed lawn and a porch swing. Life wasn't extravagant, but it was full. No, it was secure. This story starts in Florida. My younger sister, Chloe, had just graduated from college there. The whole family, my parents, my older brother Mark, his wife, and Sir All, flew down to celebrate. It was a big, happy reunion. We spent days at the beach, having barbecues, taking group photos with big, forced smiles. So content, surrounded by the people I loved most. Looking back, the signs were there. Sarah had been distant for months, always on her phone, working late. But I trusted her. I trusted all of them. I believed in the life we had built. Our marriage, from my perspective, was a calm harbor. We had our routines. Coffee together in the morning, Friday night movies, quiet Sundays, reading the newspaper. I thought we were a team. On the last day of the trip, we all had a late lunch at a bustling waterfront restaurant. The mood was light, full of laughter and plans for the flight home. Sarah was especially affectionate, holding my hand. She said she was proud of me. I felt a deep sense of belonging. After lunch, my brother Mark suggested one last walk along the pier to watch the boats. Just the guys. A final bit of sun, he said. Sarah kissed my cheek. We'll get the cars packed. She told me, meet you back at the rental in 20 minutes. I nodded, completely unsuspecting. I walked away with my brother and my dad, leaving my entire world behind me at that table. The walk on the pier was shorter than I expected, maybe 15 minutes. My dad said he was tired from the sun, and my brother just shrugged. Better not. Keep the ladies waiting, he said with a casual smile. A normal comment. But now, replaying it in my head, the smile didn't reach his eyes. When I got back to the restaurant parking lot, our 2 rented SUVs were gone. My first thought was pure practicality. They must have moved to a different spot. Maybe the rental return lot. I pulled out my phone to call Sarah. It went straight to voicemail. Odd. Her phone was always charged. I tried my mom. Voicemail. I tried my brother. Again, voicemail. A faint, cold trickle started in my stomach. A joke, I told myself. A stupid family prank. Leave the responsible one waiting for a few minutes. But 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I called everyone again, nothing. The sunny Florida afternoon began to feel sharp and hostile. I was sweating through my shirt. I finally called Chloe, the graduate. It rang. She picked up. Hey Mike, what's up? Her voice was bright, loud. I could hear car noise, music in the background. Chloe, where is everyone? The cars are gone. I'm standing alone in the parking lot. A brief pause, and a light, airy laugh. Oh, they didn't tell you? We had to head out. There was ... a thing with the flight. They're probably on the road. Don't worry about it. Oh, wait about it, Chloe. My wife is in one of those cars. What flight? We have tickets for tomorrow. The cold trickle was now a steady stream of dread. Look, I gotta go. Love you. You'll figure it out. And the line went dead. You'll figure it out. I stood there, paralyzed. This was no longer a prank. The tone was all wrong. My hands were shaking as I opened my banking app, a sudden dark instinct taking over. Maybe there was an emergency. Maybe they needed money for something. I logged in, the screen loaded, and my world didn't just shift. It fell off a cliff. Our joint savings account, the one we'd been building for a decade for a house down payment, was empty. A zero balance. The last transaction was from this morning. A wire transfer. For the full amount? I stared at the screen, the numbers blurring, the sounds of the harbor seagulls, laughter, boat horns all faded into a dull, roaring silence. My knees actually buckled. I sat down hard on the hot curb. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a coordinated, calculated act. They had my wife, had my money, and they had left me deliberately, with nothing but the clothes on my back and a deadening horror in my chest. The question wasn't what was happening anymore. The question, the one that made my blood run cold, was why. The zero on the bank account screen wasn't a mistake. It was a statement. They had cleaned me out. Every dollar Sarah and I had saved for our future, gone in a single transfer. I sat on that curb until the sun dipped below the palm trees, the heat leaching out of the pavement. I was a ghost, a man erased by his own family. I had $87 in my personal account and maxed out credit cards. My mind was screaming, a chaotic mess of panic and disbelief. But underneath it, a colder, quieter feeling was taking root. Survival first? I needed a room. I found a cheap motel a mile away, the kind with flickering neon and stained carpets. It smelled of mildew and despair. I used my last cash for the night. In that dim, silent room, the reality crashed over me in waves. I was 1,000 miles from home. No car, no money. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. My heart leapt. A stupid, hopeful reflex, Sarah. Michael. I'm so sorry. This isn't how I wanted this to happen. We need space. Please don't try to contact my family. They're just trying to protect me. Protect her from what? From me, the quiet, dependable husband? Rage, hot and pure, flushed through me for the first time. I didn't reply. I just stared at the message. It was a script. Felt clinical. It's nothing like the woman who had kissed me goodbye hours ago. Then a Facebook notification popped up. My old college friend Dave had tagged me in a comment on my brother Mark's photo. The photo was from just an hour ago. Mark, Sarah, my parents, they were all at an airport bar smiling, toasting with glasses of wine. The caption read, "Celebration trip. So proud of my little sis. Hashtag family first, hashtag new beginnings." The hashtag felt like a physical blow. Hashtag new beginnings. Dave's comment underneath was what saved me. It said, "Hey Mike, you on this trip too? Call me when you get a sec. Urgent." Hands were shaking. Stepped out of the motel room into the humid night and called him. "Mike, Jesus, where are you?" Dave's voice was tense, low. "Florida. They left me, Dave. They took all the money and left me."
Oh.
He let out a long, pained sigh. "Listen to me.
Oh.
I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, but I saw Sarah 2 weeks ago at that new bistro downtown. She wasn't alone. She was with Mark, and it wasn't a brother-sister lunch, Mike. They were close, holding hands under the table. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you ever since. The world tilted. My brother, my wife, the pieces, sharp and ugly, began to click into place. The guy's walk on the pier, the coordinated silence, the drained bank account. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a coup, Dave, I said, my voice strangely calm. Can you do something for me? Log into my cloud account. You still have the password from when we shared that music subscription? I need you to check something. Look for the home security folder. I had forgotten about it myself. A year ago, I'd set up a small, discreet camera in our living room to check on our dog during long work days. I never turned the sync feature off. An hour later, Dave emailed me a zip file. I opened it on my laptop. In that dank motel room, it was a collection of video clips and screenshots from my own home over the past 3 months. There they were. Sarah and Mark, laughing on my couch, sharing a bottle of my favorite whiskey. In one clip, my wife was crying, and my brother was pulling her into an embrace that lasted far too long.
Adela.
The most damning one was a screenshot of a text conversation. Dave had pulled from a linked notification on a video still. It was between Sarah and my mother. "Mom, is he still in the dark?" Sarah, completely. "He thinks the Florida trip is for Chloe. He's so trusting. It's almost sad, Mom. We'll make it clean." account on Monday, then you leave him there. He'll be too humiliated to ever show his face again. I read those lines over and over. He'll be too humiliated to ever show his face again. They weren't just leaving me. They were trying to break me, to delete me from their lives so they could rewrite the story without me in it. The grief was gone. The panic had evaporated. All that was left was a glacial, focused calm. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I closed the laptop. I took a long, slow shower in the motel's rusty water. I dressed in the same clothes. And then I started to work. Silently, methodically. I used a credit card that still had $100 of space to book a bus ticket home for 2 days later. It would give me time. I created a new secret email address. I saved every piece of evidence the bank screenshot, Dave's call log, the photos and videos from the cloud into multiple encrypted folders. I researched. I looked up laws regarding joint assets, fraud, marital abandonment. I found the receipt for the airport bar from Mark's credit card. It's posted publicly by the bar's tag on his photo. I noted the timestamp, 45 minutes after they left me. They were celebrating my destruction, and I let them. I went completely dark. I didn't respond to Sarah's text. I didn't answer any calls from unknown numbers. On social media, I was a ghost. As far as they knew, I was a broken man, sitting in a Florida motel, drowning in shame. But I wasn't broken. I was hardening. I spent the next day walking, thinking, planning. Every detail of our life together, every financial move, every family secret, I turned it over in my mind looking for leverage, looking for a way in. They thought they had planned the perfect exile. They were wrong. They had made one critical mistake. They assumed the quiet and reliable man would just disappear. They forgot that when you push a good man into a corner, strip him of everything he loves, and leave him with nothing. I boarded the bus north, watching the Florida coastline fade away. I wasn't going home to beg. I wasn't going home to cry. I was going home to reclaim what was mine. They wouldn't see me coming until it was far, far too late. I didn't go to the house. I went to my old office, the one I still had a keycard for from a project last month. For 2 days, I worked from a silent cubicle. I finalized the legal paperwork my online research had helped me draft. Then, I made one call. The climax wasn't a screaming match. It was a meeting. I had our lawyer, now just my lawyer's schedule. A formal mediation for the urgent division of marital assets. Sarah, Mark, and my parents walked into that sterile conference room, expecting a broken man ready to surrender. I was already there, sitting calmly at the head of the table. The shock on their faces was my first victory. "No greetings?" I said, my voice even. "Let's begin." My lawyer passed out packets. Page 1. The screenshot of the zeroed out joint account and the wire transfer authorization with Sarah and Mark's. Digital signatures. Page 2. Selected stills from the home security footage. Page 3. The text logs between Sarah and my mother. The color drained from their faces. My mother started to cry. "I'm not here to argue," I stated. "I'm here to present facts. This is wire fraud. This is conspiracy. This is emotional and financial abuse. My terms are simple." I laid out my calm, legal revenge. Sarah would sign the house, now mine outright, over to me immediately. The stolen savings would be returned via a binding payment plan from Mark. And my parents, with interest? Failure to comply would result in me filing criminal charges and a civil lawsuit. With all this evidence going public, "You wanted me humiliated," I finally said, standing. "You wanted me to disappear? You failed. You are now legally bound to repair the life you've tried to destroy. Every payment you make, every time you see this house you lost, you will remember this moment." I looked at each of them, their arrogance shattered into quiet horror. "The joke," I said, gathering my papers, "is over." I walked out, leaving them in the silent wreckage of their own making. My revenge wasn't a moment of rage. It was a lifetime of consequences, delivered with a signature.